Hungry Trilobite Podcast would like to start by acknowledging SoonerCon. Set sail once again for the high seas of Oklahoma's longest-running pop culture convention. A fun weekend awaits you full of cosplay, shopping, celebrity autographs, panels, and the after-hours events. Set up in the Embassy Suites in Norman, Oklahoma, you'll find a fantastic geeky weekend, June 19th through 21st, 2026. Visit SoonerCon.com for details. If you were to tell me that you think the world is ending, I would not be in any position to disagree with you. The only real discussion to have would be if the world is turning more into Mad Max or Star Wars or Terminator. Those are the kind of distinctions we can draw at this point in time. I think we can all agree that the world we thought we knew until 10 to 15 years ago is no longer the world we're in. And I can't think of many people who would say that's a good thing. So when it comes to what's going on and trying to put a little bit of a hope in the conversation, I always lean on community. And if you've been a fan of this show going way back, you'll find that I talk about online community a lot. Because online community has the benefit of connecting us with the people who most share our values. And those can be any number of things that we find important, whether that be just a common interest or a way of looking at the world or an understanding of what's really important. So when I find somebody like our guest today, I'm very thankful to come across them, because what you're seeing is somebody who can look at what we have in common and what we have not in common, and both of those things are reasons that we want to take care of each other. So I'd like to look back at all those conversations I've had about an online community and put them in this woman's lap. You know her as RefashionedHippie, and let's get started right now. This morning we are joined by RefashionedHippie. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
I am glad to have you here. I'm really excited to talk about this because I have been following you, I believe, almost as long as I've had my Instagram account.
Oh, yay.
Sure. And I just enjoyed what you do. And to give a very brief summary, you do a lot of stuff that is based on thrifting and design, but you have a variety of topics. And I love that about you by itself. But then one day I see you pop up at a convention.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, okay, now you're not just doing what I like, you're doing it in my space. So I just want to reach out because apparently we are the same type of geek.
Mm-hmm.
And then you told me this amazing story. You didn't tell me, you told millions of people this amazing story about how somebody reached out to you about a perfume bottle and your community mobilized because of that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could give me the Clip Notes version of that, could we go into that?
Absolutely. So I have what is essentially a comedy fashion channel, which does not sound like the type of thing that I'm sure you would find yourself attracted to. But as you say, I cover a lot of different topics and I try to help my community as much as I possibly can. So someone that I know for a couple of years now that I met through my channel reached out to me and was just looking for this one vintage bottle of perfume because her grandfather, every time he was deployed during World War II, would bring home a bottle to her grandmother, sorry. And she said, I just want one, and I've had so much trouble finding it. So I asked my community because I have been joyously shocked to find how engaged my community has been. And I want to let you know, not only did I receive literally hundreds of emails about where something could be purchased, along with multiple offers to send one to her, within the first day, someone said, "Oh, I have exactly what she's looking for. Give me her email address." It was shipped out the next morning, which was just so wonderful and so beautiful. But as you say, I'm kind of like a sleeper nerd. Like it's not the first thing I talk about. But if you dare mention quarks, I will drop so much knowledge on you. Like it's my passion. Um, I have been very, very fortunate to have this platform. We have fully funded 5 GoFundMe campaigns at this point. The amount of charitable giving is incalculable because if you make it easy for people to do good things, I find that they do them. And it's really easy to do good. So I think that that is a unifying spirit that just a lot of nerds and geeks have. So it's very nice to like be able to go to a convention and just feel like I'm with my people now. So like Farpoint Convention was my first convention ever, not just as, like an invited speaker ever. I've already been invited back next year, and I have 5 more conventions lined up because it was just such a wonderful experience. But it was a long and rambling story. I hope it helps. But like,
No,
yeah,
that's fantastic, and it touches on so many things. It's that concept of internet community that means a lot to me
yes.
because I've always been one of those people since I got my first online computer at like 15. I have constantly done so much of my life online for various
Hmm.
reasons, and I enjoy it. I think there's a lot of value in it. And I
Hmm.
think building these online communities are something that we need to start talking about more. It's not an accident anymore.
Hmm.
And the fact is, we can do, like you said, such good in a world that makes that difficult.
Hmm.
And we're doing it with intentionality. We're finding our people in a world that discourages us from seeing them every day.
I mean, I can tell you some of my biggest supporters are people in England, Australia, Greenland. I mean, people I will never meet in real life, but we came together through the internet. And I think the definition of friendship is changing because it used to be, we go to a bar every Friday for trivia night. That's happening less and less now, especially after COVID. There's nothing wrong with having an online community that is your group of friends. Of course, leaving your home is important, going out and physically being with people is important, but I'm very blessed to have met the people that I met, and I find nothing denigrating in the term online community. It's extremely empowering.
I never found anything denigrating in the term. It just always seems like people don't understand what it consists of. They don't quite get why you're not shortchanging the community. You're not doubting that it has so much potential to offer, and it takes effort to set one up when
Yeah.
your neighbors are literally people you live next to by accident, and that's great when they are the type of people that you want to hang out with and that you want to bond with. But there are cases where that's not true,
Hmm.
and there are cases where you might just be too far away in any way or not able to leave your home or there's so many variables in the physical world.
Hmm.
And when it comes to new ideas and spreading like your perfume situation there, it's like to just even communicate what's going on to enough people who would understand, who's going to recognize this perfume bottle and where it came from. And that takes a hive mind.
Hmm. Absolutely.
Just for the record, was it just the bottle that was important, or was she actually hoping for a useful sample of perfume inside it?
So I think a little bit of both, like the preference would have been if it actually still smelled the same, but she was looking for a bottle that was available in like 1952. So I mean, but I will tell you, and again, I did not anticipate this at all. I hoped the video would get some views. It really blew up. Someone was able to not only send her the bottle, which did still have some perfume in it. Multiple people emailed me about companies that will recreate scents. So she received both. Um, and just it was a really wonderful thing to see someone say, like, oh, hey, I have this knowledge in my brain that I did not think would be useful to anybody else, but there's a very specific company that does exactly this, and I can tell you all the details about them. Like as you say, that hive mind can produce some really, really wonderful results. And this was just a very, small thing to the rest of the world, but a
Mhm.
really, really important thing to her.
Yeah. And those little memory blocks, whatever they can be, and they're always the most random thing for everybody. It's just this little buried thing that it means something to you, but you don't have the context around it
Yeah.
because you're young and the world means something different to you when you're young. And then suddenly you realize, oh, I wish I could three-dimensionalize this nugget that is not around anymore, and there's somebody out there who can.
Mhm.
And that person might understand the impact it had on a young person at the time.
I mean, I can tell you, like, I don't necessarily think of myself as successful, even though by most metrics of the internet I am, but I'm primarily a stay-at-home mom. So my day-to-day life has not really changed. Um, like there's nothing I'm doing that's more important than getting my daughter chocolate milk. There's nothing. Like it does, I could be on the phone with the president and it's still like, mother, it is chocolate milk time. Like, so the priorities of my life have not changed, but I find such joy in being able to mentor other people because every once in a while someone will reach out to me and say, I'm struggling to grow my channel or I want to get started in audiobooks. And it makes me realize that I am where someone else wants to be. And no matter what you're doing, I guarantee that's true for you too. You have accomplished something that someone else has a dream of doing one day. And that's something else that I love about the internet. I'm very active on the Discord for Chicks with Fix, one of my Patreons. Um, that community is incredible. There's a section where people can just ask for mental health advice, can ask for help with a problem that they're having, and no matter what somebody asks, someone else has been through something similar. And that's been a really beautiful thing to see. Is just that my experience can help other people is a universal truth for almost every human.
Yes. I have some people on the show who have been in their industry for decades and are now very well established. And then I will invite people on who are creators who are just getting their first big win.
Mm,
And they will sometimes say to me, but I'm not as famous as so and so. Why does anybody want to see me? And I will say that might not be what they're looking for,
mhm.
because sometimes when you're just starting out, it's way more beneficial, and you're more receptive to the advice if it's somebody who's just two steps ahead of you or a
Yep,
step and a half,
yep,
because the advice that you're going to give them is advice that you needed 6 months ago. It's fresh
exactly.
in your mind.
Yep. No, that's absolutely
Yeah.
true. And those small nuggets of wisdom might save someone 3 weeks of hardship. And absolutely, if you've learned something going through a process, why would you ever not share that with someone else?
Right. And it's it's the relief that, yeah, there is light at the end of that tunnel. We don't know how long the tunnel is, but
Mhm.
when you're trying to split your attention between a day job and a creative life, or even just trying to build a community of people that you can bond with, that's rough.
Yes.
Um, I found out that you're also the author of a very great book called Why I Hate Everything.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I'm very proud of that book.
You should be, you should be. And it hits a lot of the same tones. I ended up messing around with a similar book a long, long time ago. Ended up not doing anything with it. Actually published some of it as a blog. Decided that wasn't the direction I wanted to go in. But the fact that you can see, like I said, somebody else has been where you are. This book really has a lot of the same tone to it.
So, Why I Hate Everything is just actual stories from working 10 years in retail. And I mostly wrote it because I would get home from work every day and my mom would be like, this is unbelievable. Write it down, write it down. And finally, it was like, okay, I have to do something with this. But my favorite part of that book is that when somebody reads it, they have to tell me one of their own stories. And that's what I so absolutely love. Like I get emails all the time from people who say like, okay, so this one time, and it's like, yes, tell me everything. Like I live for that because everyone has their own collection of stories. And I live for that. So yeah, that's my favorite part of that book is that people feel compelled to tell me their story. And I think that's just a wonderful thing.
Is that a dare?
It's it's a door and you can choose to walk through it, buddy.
Okay, because you're the guest, and but if you're putting that platform out there, I was working at Circuit City. I worked there for about 5 years, right toward the end.
I love this, by the way. Carry on.
Uh-huh. And it's everybody has their scheduled lunch, and if you go late, somebody else goes late. So somebody else was scheduled to go, and he's like, dude, I'm ready to go to lunch. Can you take this quick phone call? So sure. He hands me the phone, and I get on there, and there's this very, very nice guy who has a question about a mouse.
Hmm.
And I answer the question as best I can. It seems that he's looking for a feature that's not there. What am I going to do? I don't know. And we both have another 10 minutes to chat about any possible mouse related issue that he could have. Like, sorry, can't help you. And that's right when we were going to say goodbye is when things go off the rails.
Uh-huh.
And he says, and I remember he talking to a guy about a mouse, and he says, I don't want to embarrass you, but I want to talk to you about HIV.
Hell of an opener.
Uh-huh. And again, he was polite. There was nothing rude about him. But he
Uh-huh.
then proceeds to tell me this hour-long story about how he was a shut-in and had lived his life through people he sends to stores to collect various things and come back to him. And he had this whole workshop set up in his home. And he had spent years training to be a registered herbalist, only to discover that that profession was only registered in like 3 states, so he had no work. And that just continued to spiral and spiral and spiral out of control. And so the dude who had left for his hour-long lunch comes back, and he looks at me with the phone. And he's like, "Same guy?" I'm like,
God.
and so that is my story. And I left. The phone finally almost died, and I left shaking because I didn't know. And people are like staring at me because my end of the conversation, with me trying to say nothing inappropriate, is just like so strained, and yet people could tell this is not about a mouse anymore.
Just a quick note for
Hmm.
your listeners. Please be nice to retail workers and food service people. Like, whatever is going on in your day, you have to understand that you are like 5 minutes of their day. Like when you're frustrated, like don't take it out on the girl at Starbucks. Like she does not set corporate policy. Like they are people and they are trapped. Like they are trapped. No matter what attitude you're giving them, they can't leave that interaction. Like they're not your friend. They can't hang up the phone on you. Like you are powerless in that. You cannot hang up the phone in that situation. Like you just can't. Oh my God. No, but that's the thing. Like the darkness of men's souls that I saw when I worked retail. Like, uh, like I need to be successful on the internet because I can't go back to work in the mall. I can't do it. I'm not
Yeah.
strong enough.
And that's why, and to bring it back, that's why places like Farpoint and those other conventions are like, it's like I'm going to heaven without having to die first. It's
Yes.
really what it
Yep.
boils down to. It's like I went through all that. I built my career doing that kind of stuff, and it was painful.
Yes.
And you say food service and retail. I'm going to throw tech support on that list of jobs that are
Yes.
just like
Yes. Yes.
it's your job to be abused in
Yes.
somebody's eyes. Whether that's actually in the job description, I don't know, but that's functionally what it amounts to.
But something else I like about conventions is it's almost like because I have a 6-year-old and like seeing two kids become best friends at the park is hilarious. Because like, do you like swings? I like swings. Let's play. It's the same thing at a convention. Like if you walk up to someone or like, you like Star Trek? I like Star Trek. What's your favorite captain? Like you're friends now. And it's the closest you get to that 6-year-old mentality of like, let's go play with blocks. Like it just there's a thing you both love and it's very apparent and you get to talk about it and it's just wonderful.
As a very silly example, you had opened this conversation by saying, if you want to talk about quarks, I'm sitting here and I have a couple action figures on my desk just for ADHD reasons, and he's right here.
I love Quark. I just love him. Like as a business person, because I run multiple businesses in addition to doing all of my social media stuff. One of them is clothing reselling. I take donated clothing, or sometimes I get pieces from thrift stores when I'm lucky enough to get to go shopping, and I sell them on Whatnot. I have such a problem sometimes feeling like I have to convince people to purchase my items. And instead, I try to channel Quark a little bit and just go like, no, this has value and you're going to pay me for it. Because like that, the laws of acquisition, that's something I have to instill in myself because I still feel just like I won the lottery and I'm waiting for the world to figure it out. Like with all of the attention that's been happening online, with all of the good that's come, with all of the money, frankly, that's come from that. Like I get to be a stay-at-home mom because of the internet. Like that's a really wonderful, wonderful gift. But yeah, I channel Quark when I'm selling because I'm not going to say to someone like, "Oh, this would be so good for you because you need give me money for it. It's worth it." Instead, just like, "No, this is amazing, and you're so lucky that I have it and you can buy it. Yay, yay for you!" Like that's the attitude I'm trying to bring. So Quark is bizarrely a little bit of a role model for me.
Well, and he should be. And there's nothing wrong with being able to say, hey, this is why something's worth this.
Yeah.
This is what's available. Here's how easy it's going to be for you to get it because it's right here in front of you.
Yeah, and Etsy sellers, people who are selling your handcrafted goods on Etsy, channel Quark, channel Quark. Do not sell yourself down because you feel like you have to convince people to buy your products. You are the get.
Mhm. Especially for items where if it's not one of a kind, it's now no longer in production. The
Yep.
number out there is all that's ever going to be.
Yep, 100%.
And I have done thrifting in my past. I don't do it much now because, quite honestly, the amount of time and effort it takes versus what I usually find that I'm interested in is so
Yeah.
low.
No, very fair. Yeah.
And okay, PSA out there, if you're going to at least the major thrift stores, like Goodwill is tops on the list. Salvation Army, I have my suspicions, but anything collectible, they are never letting hit the floor. That goes
Yeah.
straight to their online store. So
Yes.
there is a I don't want to say conspiracy. It is a dedicated effort to get the good stuff out of your hands.
I hear you. So much do I agree with that. However, I don't know that we can be mad at businesses operating as businesses. Because the Goodwill online store, you can still get deals there. Still think that it's worth it to go thrifting. You just have to recognize that a business is going to behave like a business. And as much as we love to say that Goodwill is out there to help people who can't afford other clothing, no, they are the same as Amazon. They are a corporation. They are not a nonprofit. It's just important that you remember that when you choose who you're shopping with.
And yeah, I hear you. And I don't disagree with anything you're saying, but then I think that it's hard for me to actually see them as a thrift store, even if it, like you said, it's a business. To a thrift store, as far as I was concerned, was always working with donated goods,
Yes.
generally for a public good. And it seems like there's so many aspects of Goodwill's business policy that doesn't align with that, that they're trying to put
Oh,
themselves in this weird third category.
I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I'm
Sure,
just saying
sure,
that the best thing you can do as a consumer is educate yourself on the businesses that you choose to shop from
sure,
and
sure.
understand that you can never do it perfectly because if you
Mhm.
want to only shop from ethical businesses, you will be living in the woods, sucking on
Mhm.
sticks for sustenance. So the best thing you can do is educate yourself and be very careful about where and how you spend your money.
That's really good advice. And it's very difficult for me right now because there are so many businesses I am not patronizing
Mhm.
because various reasons.
Yeah.
Uh, and it's getting harder and harder. And then there are cases where it's like, I need this, I need it in a reasonable amount of time,
Yes.
and the only place I'm going to have an option to go is Amazon.
No,
But yeah.
my motto and the motto for my channel is better, not perfect. Because same thing, like I don't like going to Walmart. I don't like supporting that business. If my daughter needs flu medication at 2 in the morning, we're going to Walmart. And that doesn't
Mhm.
make me a bad person.
No.
Better, not perfect. Everything that you do matters. You will not be perfect if that is what you've yourself up for. You will fail and you will feel bad all the time. So better, not perfect.
And I'm going to throw this out there, something I've been really struggling with, but I truly do believe this the more I think about it, is that part of the problem with our system is that we push the responsibility onto the individual when it
Yes.
belongs with the
Yep.
system, which means
Yes.
it is your fault for patronizing that business. It is not the fault of the structure for making it financially irresponsible for you to go anywhere else,
Yes.
for taking the choices away from you, for setting things up so that that business can't fail even if you don't go to it. That's not your
Mhm.
fault. It's your fault. Just like, the fact that the environment is crap right now. It's not the fault of businesses with no regulation or entire countries that can't be controlled. It's you for not recycling.
I was just going to say, again, as a clothing reseller, as a fashion person, like I talk a lot about fast fashion. You can use paper straws for the rest of your goddamn life. You are not going to offset what the Coca-Cola Corporation has done to the environment. It's never going to happen. So, yes, individual actions absolutely do matter, but the best thing you can do is argue for legislation and vote locally. Like, again, I know it's not
Mhm.
sexy, but if you want to have an effect on the world, yes, upcycling t-shirts into bags is something that I love to do. I have a lot of fun with it. I think it helps educate people more on environmental issues. Also, call your senator.
Yeah. I rate. I grew up hearing think global, act local, and that to me it has become a sense of anxiety because
Mm,
it's like, all the big things are my fault in the end. And it's like, no,
yeah,
that's not true. You're doing
absolutely.
what you can, and you are one person, and that's you being limited by that is not your fault.
Absolutely. And a lot of companies engage in greenwashing where it seems like something is really good for the environment and it in fact is not. If a Coach, for example, has their Coachtopia line, which is supposed to be sustainable leather products, what they're actually doing is selling you the scraps of their previous projects that are just poorly put together. That's not on you. They're doing that specifically to market the green initiative that people want to take part in because you're a caring person. So yeah, companies are very, very deceptive.
Yeah. And I think that channels such as yours, where you're talking openly about the best way to, impact the world, the best way to think about retail and shopping and the economy in a way that is, I want to use the word holistic,
Oh,
because
bless you.
yeah, you're starting to look at this like, hey, what matters to me? What do I want to have in my life? And that keeps you away from the I'm going to buy everything and consume everything lizard brain aspect we have.
Yes. I mean, especially with retail today, there's the dopamine of I want it, I want it, I want it. And that could be small purchases like the little Nido things, which I have one of because I like it and my ADHD makes me touch things. Like, but then there's the much larger problem of, again, I'm going to bring up fast fashion because that's more of my area, but the amount of clothing that we produce every year is crazy. And the fact that companies have convinced us that after you've worn something two or three times, it's old and you need something new is crazy. The trend chasing that we do, that now, trends don't last 6 months the way they used to when I was a kid. Now it's every week. Every week there's some new thing that TikTok Shop is advertising that you absolutely have to have. Like it's that dopamine hit to your brain that can be really dangerous. And again, companies are very aware of that and very good at using it. So it's something that you just have to train yourself. And that's where the individual responsibility for me matters. Because no, Aaron, you are not destroying the planet. It's not your fault, but you can do better. And that's I think what we all have to tell ourselves is it's not this anxiety ridden I'm a terrible person, but just what's one thing I can do different today?
Like, there's the old adage that you don't wear something retro if you were there for it the first time. And that's fair, but what if there's a third category where the thing that's retro I was wearing the first time and it's still in my closet because it still lasts?
You know what? I'm such a wear what you like person. I it hurts me physically to see the stuff that I wore in middle school is now back in style. I don't like that. That feels like a personal attack. But I think the best thing you can do is just not chase the trend. If you like it, wear it. Have that be the end of the discussion.
Well, it's just crazy because I do have a few shirts that I had in college and maybe even high school, I'm not sure yet, that are still wearable, whereas some of the stuff I bought 3 years ago is falling apart.
Oh yeah. I mean, but that's the problem with creating trends the way that brands like Shein and Temu do is it doesn't matter if you only wear it two or three times because you paid $6 for a t-shirt. So in our heads, it's disposable clothing. You wear it a couple times, you get the use out of it that you wanted, and then you can get rid of it. Whereas absolutely, like you probably have a pair of jeans for 30 years that's still good because we used to make things to last. And now that's not a quality that we prize so much in our clothing because we don't plan on wearing this 10 years from now.
And I mean, I get it because clothing, because you wear it it's kind of a consumable, but a reasonable expectation of durability is not I
Yeah,
think should be on the table.
absolutely.
Ju-
Absolutely.
yeah.
And again, there are a few key items in your closet, like a plain white t-shirt, that you should get a lot of wear out of. That
Mhm.
shouldn't be something that you have to buy six every year.
Sure. And I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe as a culture, we need to just have that conversation of what do we expect from the stuff we buy in general? Because that's something that I think, like I said, the society is pushing that responsibility on us. Like, no, you're buying this, so we're making it. Yeah, but I would like to just say, hey, this joystick here, I plan on using this for 20 years.
Yeah.
It should be made to last for 20 years.
Yes.
This shirt, okay, give me at least five.
But I think, and I'm mostly speaking to women here because let's be honest, I probably have a lot more clothes than you, and let's not test that theory because it's embarrassing. But there's a lot of ways that you can have access to more clothing without purchasing more clothing. I'm a huge advocate of creating community closets. So I am a plus size woman. I have absolutely no shame in that. I know multiple women who are also my size. I love the idea of having a Facebook group where we just take pictures of our clothing, post it, and then if somebody's looking for a red dress to wear to an event, you can just type in the little search bar, red dress, and it will come up with all of the options. You email Caitlin and say, hey, could I borrow this on Friday? And it can still give you that boost, that feeling of this is something new, that confidence that you want when you're walking into like a job interview or going on a first date, but you haven't had to buy something new. You're using something that already exists. You're not spending any more money and I get to see Caitlin on Friday when I pick up the dress. Like things like that really matter. So it's not that you have to live in this constant state of denial where I just have to buy less. Buying less is an important component, but there are other things you can do to offset that as well.
And when it comes to doing things in a sustainable way and building community, my cosplay friends out there,
Hmm.
if you are not actively doing this now, get on it because it's going to go over like gangbusters. But find your local cosplay groups, find your local fan groups, build these closets. I know groups that will do cosplay component swaps where it's like, hey, I built these shoulder pads. They're not working for me. Can somebody else use them? And then you literally could save somebody else a couple hours, a couple hundred hours worth of work.
Yes.
Although they might have to readjust them a bit, but it's a heck of a start.
And you get to meet nerds. Like that's the other thing. Like there's we can build community while doing good for the planet. And yes, 100%. I will screech about this all day. Like you don't know what you've done. I feel so strongly about this.
But that's the goal here is that we've got think people like you and me because we had a chat off mic how we have a lot of similarities and a lot of differences, and that's what makes this cool.
Yes.
That's what builds potential here. And I really feel like so many people listening to this right now are in the exact same boat.
Hmm.
It's like they're starting to see, oh wait, I can do something about this in this moment that is very hard to get this feeling that you can do anything about anything.
Oh yeah. Yep. Um, can I ask when will this air?
Well, little cool to peel back the curtain here. It is the third, so I'm thinking the Sunday after next.
Okay. So for you future people, um, I struggle with that as well. I struggle with the fact that it feels like the whole world is on fire and I'm getting people to laugh at jeans. Like that's it weighs on me. And I try to talk about charities and good causes on my channel. One thing I was really impressed by, this couple reached out to me from Second Chance Suites. So they have partnered with rescueoneglobal.org, and you can cut whatever you have to get link, but um, what they do is rescueonglobal.org is an organization that rescues people from being trafficked and helps them restore their lives, which is obviously incredibly sad and incredibly difficult. This couple bakes cookies. Second Chance Sweets on Instagram and Facebook, they bake cookies. And it is their dream to open a cafe so that people who have been trafficked can have somewhere safe to live and just get some job experience while they're getting back out in the world. And that's really relatively simple, but that's something they can do. And I think that that's really important too. While the whole world is on fire, you still get to laugh. You still get to feel good about things. Like that's still okay. You don't have to fix the world in order to feel like it's okay to have a good time. It's okay. But also you can do things that matter. And I'm interviewing them tonight. I'm going to be really I'm excited for this conversation because I think that people need to know that you can do good. And whatever your skill set is, you can use that to help people. And every little action, especially locally, especially when you are seeing the person that you're helping, matters. Because this couple is not going to end human trafficking. Be great if they could, they're not. But what they do matters. And if you can help someone by buying some cookies, that's just a good thing. And I think we need more people like that in the world.
Absolutely. And if you can follow up with me after the chat when you get the link to that conversation, I will put it in the
Absolutely.
link to the show notes.
Thank you.
AaronBosnick.com is where all the show notes for the every episode lives. And yeah, I will be
Thank you.
glad to boost that as much as I possibly can.
Thank you. People need to know that what they do matters because
Sure.
the world is on fire and everything's terrible.
And there are times that I have to sit back and think, has the world ever not been on fire?
Yeah.
Because I realize that we are living in interesting times is one of the expressions that we hear a lot. But their interesting times have always been a thing, and yet I feel like we are right to say this is different. This is something above and beyond. This is something we didn't see coming. I feel like we owe it to ourselves to at least acknowledge that this is new, and we have to think in new ways and build new communities.
I mean, I can tell you I'm a millennial. My niece and nephew, who are a generation down, they've talked to me about it. They know they'll never own a home. They just know that. Like barring winning the lottery, that's not a thing that they expect. And I feel like the idea of the American dream has really changed because in the 50s, it seemed possible to have a family, have a house, have a dog named Spot. But now that's just not the case. The wealth disparity is the greatest it has ever been in this country. And it's fair to acknowledge that.
Yeah.
But again, like that's not your fault. That's not on you. But what you do can still matter. And yes, acknowledging how messed up stuff is important.
Yes. And you are not going to single-handedly fix it by
Yes.
not buying that shirt, by not watching Star Trek, by denying somebody a plate of cookies. None
Yep.
of these things are going to be the magic bullet.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So, and again, this is support. This is validation here that we are doing something, we're going through something that is just different. And we have tools now that we didn't have 10 years ago, that our parents and grandparents certainly didn't have. This is a chance to, this is fighting back.
hmm I mean, I look at my whatnot shows and it's great for me because I make money. I sell clothing. Everything starts at $2, so I sell for cheap as well. Auctions go as high as they have to, but most items go for between $2 and $5. So I'm making a little bit of money, but I'm able to put clothing out in the world at very cheap prices where people can afford it. But for me, I look at it as just sniping sales from fast fashion brands because every time you purchase something from me, you don't go on Shein's website and purchase that same thing. And when I got really depressed about the world a couple of years ago, I went on Amazon, because better not perfect, and bought a little clicker. And every time I sold something, I would just click that. And at the end of the show, I was able to see the effect that I have had. It takes 2,000 gallons of water to produce one white cotton t-shirt. So if I sell 67 t-shirts and I get to multiply that by 2,000, I feel like that is the effect that I've had on the world today. So giving yourself those little reminders of the good that you do is really important. Someone asked me on YouTube, like, how do you not feel overwhelmed with everything awful going on right now? There's so many things to care about. What do you do? And my advice is pick one. Pick one. Whether it's the thing you care the most about or the thing the dart landed on when you threw it. Like pick one. And every time you feel hopeless, do a thing for that. It could be giving $5 to an organization, could be $1, could be that you give a sandwich to a homeless person that you see on the street that's hungry. Doesn't matter. Do a thing and write it down. Maybe every time you feel hopeless, you give it a dollar to an organization. And at the end of the month, you could look at it as, oh my God, 126 times this month I felt hopeless. Or you could say, look at what this money's going to buy. Because when you give to an organization, especially one that you've researched, you can do an incredible amount of good. But just reinforcing that you matter and that your actions have consequences in the best ways can be incredibly empowering. And it's something you should especially be doing with your children because they're going to grow up in, as we say, interesting times. I'll get off my soapbox
No,
now.
no, no. The soapbox is yours for as long as you would like it. I will say I have not caught any of your whatnot streams. Do you have them at a certain time in the week or time of the day?
Oh yeah, so every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for basically as long as I can physically stand. They usually go to about 10. And just for your viewers, they are sized shows because again, as a plus size woman, I hate going to a whatnot show and it being like, here's a floral tarp, fatty, 2 hours in. So extra small, small, medium, large, extra large through 4X, and men's are all on different days. And again, it's all good. Like it's all, yes, I make money from it. Yay, we like that. But it's also something that is 100% about recycling. And like I said, just sniping sales. If you can get something you need for cheap from me, everybody wins.
Absolutely. And you're getting better quality stuff. You're getting the chance to participate in a community. You're getting the chance to get, I'm sure, vintage and otherwise difficult to acquire apparel,
Uh-huh. Yep.
and maybe just a little bit of fun to go along with it.
I like to think so. I'll be honest, I don't like I get some people who tune in every week, even if it's not their size, and I do just want to be like, what do you get out of this? What is this for you? But no, it's a lot of fun. And it's a good group. I mean, people make friends in the comment section, which is just a wonderful thing to see.
Okay. So while we wrap this up, I want to give people a chance to get on you with your adventures there. Where can people find you online and in person?
So I am on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok, Refashioned Hippie on all of those channels. I have published 2 books so far. The third will be coming out this year. I do audiobooks. You can find those on Audible under Maggie Weber. I do my Whatnot sales every Thursday at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. What else do I do? Yeah, but if you go on any of those sites, I have my link tree fully available. I do a lot of stuff. And again, if I can help you, I would love to because I have multiple businesses that let me work from home. I also have 2 Patreons and a podcast. Um, I would love to connect with you. And for smaller content creators, I would love to collab with you too.
And you said you were going to be at some conventions in the future. Can you publicly announce that yet?
The one that I can tell you right now, the next one I have coming up is Key City Steampunk.
Okay.
Really excited about that. I have so much respect for people who are into cosplay and into steampunk. So the work and the love involved in that. I'm very excited to get to see that up close.
Okay. Well, I'm hoping to get a chance to see that, if nothing else, digitally. I want to thank you so much for coming on, and you are welcome to come back anytime.
Oh, thank you so much.
I would like to thank Maggie for being my guest today, and I would like to thank you for listening. And everything I said about building a community online is something that I want to hammer home, and that is my ask to you right now. If you could reach out to me at bossigpodcast@yahoo.com or on Instagram at Aaron Bossig, on Blue Sky as well, let's find a way to bring the geekiness together no matter what your interests are. I feel like there's so many people out there who only see each other at conventions or on social media, and these are things that can bring us all together. But trying to connect in the real world is going to take a lot more effort, especially with all the distractions, and I'm using that word euphemistically here, that we have going on. You can subscribe to this show on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, any podcasting platform you can think of. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.